Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The 2025 season has finally concluded. We have a Super Bowl champ, and the 2026 offseason has begun for all teams, including our beloved Tennessee Titans. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. Jimmy, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ward looking. Looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Spectacular. Cam Ward, welcome to Nashville.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talk Titans, joined always by my counterpart, Jarett. Jarett, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. It's an exciting time of the year, especially when your team sucks.
Yep.
This is draft combine season. This is free agent signings. This is mock draft season. And, with the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, it just gives you it puts a smile on your face a little bit because, Mike McDaniels is a defensive head coach that's calling plays, and now we have Robert Saleh, one of the best minds. He's going to be calling plays on defense. So hopefully that transitions to us as Titan fans,
Absolutely. Absolutely. We saw a blueprint of what needs to happen, and it's not going to be entirely difficult to try to emulate what the Seahawks got going on. So we're hoping to be able to do that as the months go on. But before we continue with today's show, as always, want to give a special shout out to our great sponsors over at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Makes every playoff moment feel bigger. DraftKings has your back with early exit protection if the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down, even though there's no more NFL prop bets. But for next year, at least, you will get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That is code 6sports. Turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. And again, obviously, there's plenty of sports still going on here, so you have many opportunities to get some bets in with DraftKings. We are in proud partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right. So just to touch a little bit on what we saw there on Sunday, Jarett, what was your evaluation of that game? I think it went pretty much according to plan. I don't think there was too many big surprises, but what did you take from that last game with Seattle and New England?
Plain and simple, defensive wins championships. And when you have a quarterback like Sam Darnold and that whole team, credit to the whole offense, he's just the signal caller. When they have 0 turnovers the whole postseason and your defense plays like that, it's a credit to them. And the way they dominated the postseason and how their defense went after with Mike McDaniel, just how he just goes about things. Mike McDonald, the way he goes about things, it's incredible, and it just makes me smile as a Titan fan, knowing that Robert Saleh has that similarity to him, where we can be like that, and we can be like the Patriots too of this year that's coming up for the 26th season, who won 4 games, and all of a sudden they went on an absolute run. They had a light schedule, but they took care of business. They got where they needed to be. Drake May is a second-year quarterback. They had a ton of money. They filled the holes that they needed to fill, which I think we're going to do the same exact thing. And, Mike Vrabel brought his guys in. So, let's not forget here. I know I'm transitioning out of the Super Bowl now, but, when you take care of business and you do what's right for your team, that's how you find success in the NFL. And those two teams were proven that they did it. They both belong there. They took care of business with their defense, and they got there with their offenses. But let's not forget, the Titans did play the toughest schedule this year in football. The toughest, I have it right here, the toughest schedule in football. Their win percentage against opponents was, I think, 574. Yeah, 574. So right next there with the Cardinals. So Cam Ward saw a lot. There's going to be a lot on tape for Brian Daboll to work with Cam Ward and dissecting things that he saw and what he struggled with, which I'm happy with because, listen, when you get knocked down, there's only one lesson, and it's learn from your mistakes. And Cam Ward's going to do that with this unbelievable coaching staff so far that they put together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said to start the show, Seattle's they've done a great job building teams. Obviously they had Russell Wilson for a long time. Were able to get a Super Bowl out of him, and then they resurrected Sam Darnold, or helped resurrect. I mean, you could say he was resurrected in Minnesota, but Minnesota didn't see, I guess, enough out of him, and man, that general manager got fired up because of it. And I'm sure they mentioned for not trying to make it work with Darnold. But Seattle was able to take that trash and turn it into treasure. So their defense is really something special. Obviously, it's a little bit bittersweet seeing guys like Ernest Jones flying all over the field for them. When he could have easily been a part of this team if we really wanted him to, but that's a Monday morning quarterback outlook. But yeah, man, I mean, we're gonna get into this staff as a whole, which we haven't since we've been on the show last because we've had another edition since then. But you've got well over a decade of head coaching experience with this coaching staff now for the Titans from top to bottom.
More than a decade.
More than a decade,
Yeah.
probably closer to 2 decades between Bradley and Dable and Saleh, and you can even sprinkle a few games of Fossil in there too as an interim. So as far as experience at what it looks like to be successful, because all of these guys come from a place of success, which is why they had opportunities at the head coach level. It's a cliche thing I say with my dad now when it comes to these new quarterbacks or these new coaches that we fall in love with so quickly, where we say, if it ain't gonna happen in this situation, then it's never gonna happen. And then we always look back on it and say, well, maybe that wasn't the best situation, but really, Jarett, I think you would agree with this quarterback and this staff and this amount of money and another year's draft class. If we don't see a tremendous, not a step, multiple steps forward in 2026, then I think we should just pack it up and just stop expecting any opportunities at a possible title because everything's in place you could possibly want as far as this team's concerned moving into this offseason, as far as staff, as far as opportunities, as far as cash. It's time to make it work. We've seen it happen enough times now. Teams that have fucking 3 wins going to the NFC Championship game, teams with 3 wins going to the Super Bowl. Now this team has all the pieces in place. On the paper surface look, it should be a no-brainer that this year's Titans team is the next team to go from the bottom of the barrel to the top of the barrel. We just got to make it happen. And we're not going to expect it, obviously, like we said, Jarett. We're not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore as much as we joke about it. But it should happen.
No, absolutely. And like you said, with the experience alone, we took the Super Bowl off because, the team went out there and provided some content. I know some people didn't like some of the content that was said, but, the team went out there to San Francisco. They worked their magic, got a lot of interviews, and that's why we took the break off last week. But since then, we hired Gus Bradley, right? Gus Bradley led 4 top 4 defenses in the NFL. So he's done it. He's been a head coach, and he was Robert Saleh's right-hand man, basically, in San Francisco. Now, he's not going to call the plays. He's going to be in his ear, helping him in situations, right? That's just adding to the masterpiece of this coaching staff. Like I said, this coaching staff has probably been the best since Jeff Fisher and Greg Williams and all them back in the early 2000s, where, this is the time, Sal. Like I said, it puts a smile on your face as Titan fans because now with the cap going up to $320 million, that's just adding more money in the pockets of the Titans. So when you think you couldn't get a guy, now you can go splurge and get that other guy. So it's going to be a lot of fun now. I don't know if any of you do it as much as me. Obviously, I'm a huge mock draft kind of guy. I released a mock draft 2 weeks ago. Another one's coming out here next week. Just like doing that. And then Sal, if you haven't done so yet, stick to the model.com. get your ass on there and play with it a little bit, man. You could be a GM for the Titans and cut players and add players and draft, and they give you a grade and see how everything was. I did it, once today. I got an A+ on the grade. I'm not posting it yet, but you could be the GM of the Titans to see and draft. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and what you
I'll
think
check
you
it
can
out.
do, it's just unbelievable to play on the offseason just to see what's going on. The way the money situation here is, there's no doubt in my mind that we could pull what the New England Patriots pulled off winning wise, right? I'm not saying go to the Super Bowl. Yes, that can happen. But Sal's next step and the next step after that, I'm talking about possibly winning the division with this coaching staff, with all these plug and play players, with all this money. Who knows? A trade could possibly happen. This is the start of the offseason. We checked the boxes already: offense, defense, and head coach. We got all those. Now
Yeah.
we're going into the free agency. That's where the massive checks are going to start happening. We're going to know what direction this team is going to go into the draft, which in my opinion, I'm pivoting now. I thought I wanted Cardell Tate in the draft. I thought I wanted kind of receivers in the draft. Sal, we have Gunnar Helm, we have Chim DK, we have Elk Eilmanor. We don't need to go after a wide receiver in the first round. Cardell Tate looks, sexy in the first round. So does Tyson. It's enticing, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended there. But go after a true veteran. If you're going to keep Calvin Ridley, go after a true veteran in free agency. I think they're going to hammer this draft on cornerbacks and edge players. We need edge players bad. And I think the pick early on is going to be an edge rusher. And I know we're going to talk about that soon. But
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, you have Brian Dable, who what's great about this situation, which a lot of us already know, obviously Brian Dable, Robert Saleh didn't have a ton of success as head coaches, but in their specific field, with Saleh in defense and Dable in offense, they did pretty damn good with their respective teams that they were head coaching. I believe Dable called plays for the Giants, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so you can
in one
credit
season.
in one of the okay. Well, listen, you can credit a lot of the success Jackson Dart had to Brian Dable. Maybe not all of it. I'm sure a lot of the talent was already there in the first place, but he definitely got him to a different level. And Robert Saleh, no matter what freaking team he's on, whether he's the head coach, D coordinator, his defenses are top 10 almost every single year, without question, no matter if their top guys are there on the field or not on the field. So when you have a team that already has a huge gap in the edge rush category as it is, plus you're bringing in a guy like Robert Saleh, it makes perfect sense. Go get your edge rusher that you're going to build around for the next 10 years. Have him coached by as good of, if not the best guy in the league to coach defensive players than Robert Saleh, one of the best minds by most all accounts. And you got Brian Dable there that basically it's either going to be he's going to do so well that he's out of here next year, and at least
That's
we
what
have. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's only going to happen if things go like really fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't forget, Jarett, like Dable, at least by most accounts, I was having issues with locker room stuff. So I mean, I don't think he as good of a mind as he is offensively, and with how desperate some of these teams are in the NFL. I think people aren't going to be so quick to give him another chance because of some of the in locker room issues he had. And listen, you just saw a year that is, I mean, as many openings as we've ever seen, and this guy was a great offensive coordinator. Now he doesn't get a job. So,
And
I mean,
18 offensive coordinator openings, and he chose us.
yeah.
That says a lot.
So you would have to imagine you're getting at least 2 years of Dable, unless it goes so well that he's gone 1 year. If it goes that well, you would have to assume that whatever schemes put in place would be able to be emulated by whoever else is still there. Saleh talked a lot about during the presser that we're going to be developing guys we already have here, so that when one guy goes, another guy can step in. So the things that work can continue. And that's what's great to be excited about. Listen, Saleh was a completely different person in New York. He was essentially a puppet, and then for the better part of his, or a good chunk of his career there, he was basically second in command to Aaron Rodgers. But for all intents and purposes. So this is his team. He knows it's his team. He was told it was his team, and he's handling it like it's his team, and that's a great thing to see. And you're going to be able to see Robert Saleh's leadership go to another level when he knows he's got his hands on every aspect of the team. So It's exciting. We just got to. You're right. We got to get these free agents in here, and I'm going to hammer in the Alec Pierce point as much as I can. I think he's the perfect fit
Oh,
offensively for this
absolutely.
team, and hopefully the Colts don't go over the edge to keep him around, and we have a chance to get him. But edge makes a lot of sense. It really does. There's no way
No,
around it unless they trade back.
yeah, and I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna trade back just because of the value there. And I'm not a big Bain guy. I'm gonna talk about it later on in other podcasts as we go on. I'm more of a Bailey type of guy. But there's some guys in free agency that check boxes too in the edge category, right? You have N'Kobe Dean, you have Jaden Phillips, right, and then you have the outside linebacker who had like what 10 sacks with the Chargers as well. I mean, you bring two of those guys in plus Femi, and now you draft David Bailey. You answer the edge in one offseason,
Yeah.
right? And then you go after a guy like Alex Pierce, and I'm with you on that because I see a lot of Titan fans, man. I know you see it too. A lot of Titan fans are begging for Juan Jennings to come home. I get the Tennessee ties and everything like that, but Juan Jennings is not the needle mover that we need.
No, not even close.
You have to go after like a Pierce kind of guy, and then if you are keeping Calvin Ridley, or if you're going to go after another guy as well. But yes, those two things are need: corner, edge, and wide receivers. Anytime you can surround your quarterback with as much talent, like I said, like they did with New England, they tried getting him as many weapons as possible. But another key one that no one's really talking about is running back. What's your take on the running back situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've told you this before. There's been plenty of times throughout the last couple months that or last couple weeks probably more, but I'm really falling in love with this Jeremiah Love kid. But I understand that it's kind of a luxury pick on a team that has so many depth issues at so many important positions. Taking a running back in the first round would be just so crazy. But
Yeah,
this is an offense that really lacks an identity, and obviously you would hope Brian Daboll is going to bring Cam Ward to a place where he's going to be able to stamp his identity to the team.
you need that threat in the
Um,
backfield.
yeah, but this Jeremiah Love cat looks like very similar to an Adrian Peterson to me. That's the way I see him run. He's so athletic and he can do it all. I mean, he's a bell cow back who can catch 10 passes a game if you needed him to. So, I mean, if there's a universe where there's a player that a team's absolutely in love for and they are able to trade back to like 8, I don't think he would go any later than 8 or 9. I would love for them to go for it, but at the end of the day, I like Spears. So I think one of the two is gone. It's either going to be Spears or Pollard gone. I think for the money's of it, it makes more sense to try to keep Tajay. His market's probably going to be $4 million a year, 4.5, 5 tops. So I like him, and I think he can handle more carries. But
Do you like
we'll
the
see.
idea of bringing in like a Bryce Hall or bringing in like a Kenneth
Yeah,
Walker, even if they don't get franchised or
I
if they get
love. I mean,
re-signed? I mean, because the way John Snyder was talking about on the podium, I mean, Kenneth Walker is a Tennessee guy,
yep.
Memphis kind of guy, and he's shaking his head when he's
He made a
basically
lot of
talking
money
about,
last weekend, though, Jarrett.
yeah. So
That
I mean,
guy's getting more than 10
you
million.
a great listen, a good running back makes a great quarterback. Okay,
Yeah.
because when you're running the rock and you're controlling the clock, and there's that threat behind that quarterback, play action opens up so much more. Man, we saw it without Derrick Henry, right? Well, Will Levis is declined, and then Cam Ward. I mean, Tony Pollard, he did what he had to do, but in the first 14 games, it was almost no one was in the backfield with Cam Ward. And Cam Ward was just running for his life and just throwing the ball out there. So when you have a good back, and I think they know this, where they're going to have to get, surround your quarterback with talent, especially in that rookie contract. They're going to get somebody behind Cam Ward who's going to be able to run the ball and control the clock and be a threat to in the run game, passing and catching, because Tajay's there too. Tajay ain't going nowhere. With his missed tackle rate was one of the best in the NFL. With that, and then you're bringing in this offense is going to take into new heights, especially with Brian Daboll. So I mean, they all know this, and this is where I'm excited for. We're not going to see an offseason like this in a long time. So they need to hit on this, and we're going to really see the identity of this football team come March 14th. I think it is free agency, and that's when the rumors start. But leading up to that draft, I can't wait to see what these outside linebackers are going to show.
Yeah. I mean, this defense should be very, very competent. It should be a defense that we can be incredibly proud of. And you could just see in the presser that these guys that were very wide-eyed watching the presser. They were excited. I mean, this is a guy that you really can feel the passion from, and that's so important. So, yeah, once March rolls around, we're gonna have a great idea because I think obviously our off season, as far as free agents are concerned, will pretty much paint the picture of where we're going.
Oh yeah.
Because no matter what, if this team comes out of the offseason with really next to no receiver talent, I think that's gonna
Oh yeah.
pretty much tell you, hey,
Talent's
we're
fine.
taking one of these guys. Now, obviously, the word on the street is that Tyson's got a higher ceiling, but the injury issues are very, very concerning. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of route you want to take. I know Carnell Tate is also very good, and Ohio State is a printing press for high caliber producing NFL receivers. But we'll have to see. I hear a lot of people having trouble getting around to either of those guys at number 4 because of the available talent that may be a little higher at that position than those guys. But we gotta have trust in the staff, and so far they've been hitting a lot of doubles and triples here, and then I think once next fall comes around, we could start seeing the runs come in from those hits. So. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I think every couple weeks we're going to start seeing more dominoes fall, and forget it. The combine will be here in the freaking blink of an eye.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. The combine's gonna be here.
It's going to be an amazing time to be able to watch. There's a lot of positions now. I think most years we kind of had our ideas about what position we're looking at the closest. This year it's wide open.
Oh, yeah.
We should be looking at edge rushers. We should be looking at receivers, and hell, we should even be looking at some of the running backs that are there because I'm sure they'll be there in
Running
the
back class
later
is absolutely
rounds.
loaded. We could definitely get one in the 3rd, 4th round for sure.
Yeah, my dad really likes the other Michigan running back, another guy that I didn't even know that Michigan has the second string is pretty freaking good too.
A lot of people are saying Price is going to be better, almost as the same as Love because he's a hard runner too from Notre Dame. So you can get him value at the 3rd round. I mean,
yeah. You gotta trust in the Borgonzi scheme. That's my new favorite. New favorite
so
slogan.
far, we gotta trust the Paisan. That's working.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So, guys, as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hype our show, share the show with your friends. We do our best to give you as much content on a week-to-week basis as we can, even during the off season. So we hope to keep you guys locked in during these cold months. And once the weather starts to turn, we can really start getting excited about this new upcoming season. So anything, Jarett, you want to add before we close out for the day?
Nah, man, stick to the model and
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Get yourself be a GM for the Titans. Start mocking, man. Start really looking into these prospects. I mean, I'm a college football kind of guy, so I know a lot of them already. But I like to dive into deep. And when you're sitting bored on a couch at 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock at night, throw some tape on. Watch somebody.
Yeah. No, don't worry, I will be. I needed the juice from some of these hires, and they gave it to us, so I'm so hyped. But yeah, guys, again, make sure to check in on all of our socials, and we'll keep you updated each every week. So hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and as always, tighten up. Jimmy, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.